Hello, 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 beautiful, blessed ones. I am Donna Salee. I am a certified transformational life and dream builder coach. I am a workshop and book club facilitator. I'm a public and motivational speaker and very soon to be best-selling author. And I am the founder of Life Destiny Solutions, where the life you're living connects with the destiny your soul desires to express. I am so thrilled to have you here tonight for Women, Wisdom, and Wine, which is a live segment where women gather virtually every week to have candid conversations about life, growth, healing, and transformation. Because I truly believe that if you are alive, you have wisdom to share that can help someone else. So before we dive in, if you would like to find out more about Life Destiny Solutions or about me, please drop into my website, donnasalee.com. It's right there on your screen. And you can also download my free guide, 5 steps to begin living a life you truly love. I almost got tongue-tied there. And if you are not already a member of the Life Destiny Solutions private Facebook group, please consider joining us. And it's there on your screen. And if maybe IG is more your jam, that's cool too. I am on IG and you can follow me there at Life Destiny Solutions. All right. So I have a couple of housekeeping items that I did not give last week. So one is, if you are joining on Facebook Live, don't do it now if you're here, because I hear if you do it and come back, it messes up. But before next week's live stream, please go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. That's there on your screen, StreamYard.com/Facebook, and give them permission to see your comments on Facebook. What that does is it allows me to see the name of the person making a comment or asking a question. I mean, this is Women, Wisdom, and Wine and not Donna, Wisdom, and Wine. So I really would like to have that interaction, and that I want you to understand that this is our live segment, okay? All right. The second housekeeping item I have for you is I'd like to challenge you. If you are enjoying so far what we're doing, I know this is only the second episode, but if you enjoy what we're doing, you enjoy the concept of what Women, Wisdom, and Wine is about, please each week share with 2 triple G's, 2 good girlfriends or good guy friends. Go ahead and share with them the live. If they're not on Facebook, then that's fine. You can share with them the YouTube channel, which is always in the ad. You can share that with them and they can join on YouTube. Also, if they're on Facebook, but not in the live group, in the Life Destiny Solutions private group, it's okay. I am also putting the ads on my personal page, and that's public. So those ads are shareable. Okay. If you have any questions or worry, you run into any trouble with sharing, let me know. Okay. All right. And the last housekeeping item I have is interact, participate. Send me some questions, send me some comments. Come on and let's have a great in-depth conversation. Okay. All right. So just before introducing our guest, this is Women, Wisdom, and Wine. So if you are sipping on something, whether it's a wine, adult beverage, or a glass of water, whatever it is, go ahead and put in the chat. Tell me what you're sipping on while you're watching the live. Let's share and let's get this thing going. All right, all right. So tonight we are going to have a very special guest, but I didn't tell you what I was sipping on, did I? I realized that after I started. I told y'all last week I am partial to my red wine. So tonight I am sipping on uh, a red blend of Cabernet and Syrah from Argentina. And I saw that Miss Tracy Finney, who I'm getting ready to bring in, is sipping on apple wine. That sounds good. So, our guest tonight, Miss Tracy Finney, is, I'm sorry, okay, all right. Miss Tracy Finney, she is the owner of Tracy's Treasures Boutique, which sells unique upscale women's apparel, handbags, jewelry, and accessories. And she has been in business for 11 years. So we know we're going to get some great information, some great do's and don'ts for people who have retail businesses. All right. Tracy is also, she's a mother of three and a grandmother of three, and she's about to start real estate school to broaden her business horizons. So let's put our virtual hands together for Miss Tracy Finney. Welcome, welcome,
Hello.
welcome.
Hello.
How are you tonight, Miss Tracy?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I am wonderful. I'm wonderful. I'm so thankful to have you here as a guest on my show. It's just my second episode,
It's a
and you're my second Tracy.
pleasure. Right. It was Tracy last week, wasn't it?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's gonna be a different Tracy next week.
Oh my goodness.
I love that. My triple T's,
Right.
all my Tracy's. Well, I am so glad that you are here, and I know that you wanted to share some nuggets concerning retail, some do's and don'ts for retail businesses, and of course, being in business for 11 years, you have some do's and don'ts. I know you've learned some
Right.
things the hard way. And so, what I
Exactly.
wanted to start out asking you, you can tell me a little bit about your business now and what made you
Okay.
decide to go into business for yourself and why retail?
Well, I the reason how I end up going in business is I had been praying to God for like about 2 months, just having my private moments and asking God. All my children were grown and had got out of college, and I'm like, what do I do with myself now so I can get out of their business? And
Mhm.
so I prayed about it. I prayed about it, and so one day, me and my husband went to Tunica, Mississippi,
Okay.
and we had went to a flea market, and he was about to buy me a bag, and it's like an out of body experience. So people, when people say that, some people don't believe them, but it's true. I got an out of body experience. The first time I ever recognized the voice of God. I started crying. My husband didn't even know why I was crying. It's like God spoke to me and said, "Why would you buy that when you could do it yourself?"
Ooh,
My husband thought I was crazy. The next day when I went home, I didn't go back to work. I didn't call. I called in. I was supposed to go back. I went and got all kind of license stuff I didn't even need. So I started off with $100 and three
yeah.
bags. I can say now that there was not really pretty bags, but
Okay.
I can say now that they weren't pretty bags. But also I say it started off with prayer and research.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes. So what's funny to me is that you said you can admit now they weren't pretty.
they
But
weren't.
one of the things I coach people all the time is do what you can with what you
We
have.
have
And that's
right,
what you did. You
right.
heard that idea from God and you went and you did what you could with what you had at that time.
And yes, and people, you have to realize people won't always believe in you. You can't share your dreams with everybody. People won't believe. They'll think that it's far-fetched. So, like, cause I must say, even right now, my husband didn't even, he thought that I was crazy. Like, it took him a while to jump on a bandwagon that she's serious about this. Like when
Yes.
I didn't even consult with my husband, because when a person don't understand what God is bringing to you, you can't even talk to them about it because they're not going to understand. So I was sitting at my job, which I really despised. I despised my job, And I was a manager at a storage place. And I would come home and be crying about the job. I just did not like it. And so 3 months into running my business was going so well, I couldn't keep up with it and do that job. I just sat there and wrote a resignation letter. So I resigned from my job without even consulting with my husband.
Ooh.
And that was, I've never gone back.
Wow.
I've never gone back to work for anybody else.
Yeah. So tell me that transition, what did that look like for you? I know it's going to be different for everyone, but what did that look like for you? Because you really took a big leap, and I'm sure you weren't making the money that you did make later on. I'm sure you didn't start out there. So what did you do in the meantime?
Well, actually, it may sound like I say like you said, everything is different for every person, but I know that this sounds cliche, but when God is in it, I'm telling you, he parts ways for you. And when I resigned from my job, this is the truth. I had started making more in 3 months than I was making at my job.
So you listen to the voice of God.
I listened to it. And every time I felt like I had rough moments, but every time I felt like I wanted to give up on it, I felt like I was turning my back on God, because it wasn't about what I was selling. This was about me and God's relationship. Yes. So I said, if I stop doing this, I'm failing God, because I knew it was something bigger for me at the end, because he led me to it. Yeah. And so I had that fear of God, and so it kept me going.
So it was the fear of God more so than the fear of circumstances, situations, money. You knew that you were going to be provided for because this was a God idea.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
That's what I call a God idea.
Right.
Even with Women, Wisdom, and Wine, God gave me this idea over 2 years ago. Wow. And I, a little embarrassed to say, however, he gave it to me over 2 years ago. But I know now that God knew when he gave me that idea over 2 years ago, he knew I was going to drag my feet and take my time and try to make it perfect, to try to do everything.
His time.
And finally, it was like, it just flowed, putting it together. I had the idea. When I was trying to figure it out, I couldn't figure it out. But when I just let go of it and I said, okay, God, this is from you. The timing it's going to happen when you say.
Exactly.
Yes. I love that. I love that so much. So did you have a love for bags and accessories and fashion, before this?
I've always been thought to have that, but I didn't have a passion to style people to dress. But once I got in that position, along with my personality, it just seemed like it was what I was supposed to be doing. Because I still to this day, I don't think any relationship that I gain is about the purses. People can buy from anybody. Yes. But people have told me that my personality and I witness to people. And while, like when I was at my store, I left my store in March after being there for 7 years when COVID started. But I had a couch. I had tears. It was so many tears shed on that couch. And, it's about, my motto has always been, I don't build customers, I build relationships. So, yeah. And so that's why I kind of like being able to, I do my website, but I like being able to talk to some of my customers, because we have relationships.
Yes.
So
it's really great because you get to do what you love.
Yes.
And then you get to build those relationships. I'm sorry, I have a tickle in my throat.
You know what I do too, but I did like that. Yeah. You okay?
Excuse me. Okay. Sorry. So I think that that's the beauty of it.
Yes.
And so tell me about, at what point did you get your store, and then how all of that came about?
Well, I showed somebody how to do the business. I fronted money for them. I showed them how to do the business, and the person that I did that for, they threw it in my face once they got a store. And some time had went by, and it kind of hurt my feelings because, I'm like, okay, I'm showing you how to do the business, you throwing it in my face, and I'm like, my home was my priority at the moment. And
Yes,
so,
you had young children.
right. So, but all my children were out of school and all this when I started this. So,
Okay.
but so I live pretty far from where my store was at. So I had went, I was going to over to, I waited 8 months and I was gonna go patronize the person that hurt me. I didn't need a purse or anything, but I was going to her store to patronize her.
Mhm.
And when and this is one of the nuggets I want to throw out to you. I was going, when God nudged you to go do something, you need to do it. You don't know what the reason for he's doing it. No matter how you feel about it, you need to do it. So I went over there to patronize her. She had only been there 8 months. I get over there, the store was closed down. Yes.
Oh, wow.
So,
Hadn't even been open the 8 months.
but I was obedient, and that didn't make me happy,
Of
but I was
course. Of course.
obedient to God. He sent me over there. He tested me because I'm not supposed to be grudge and hold a grudge toward my sister. So I
Yes,
went
that's
over
right.
there. I went over there to patronize her. And as I was leaving, going down the street, a guy was putting a for rent sign in the window.
Mm, mm, mm. Ooh,
And
divine timing.
I wasn't even looking for a store.
Yes.
I wasn't looking for a store. The store was beautiful. I just saw the visions all in. So it was a tri-level boutique. And so he put the rent. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go over here. It's a place a little bit further over. I said, I'm gonna go over here by the Galleria and I'm gonna eat and I'm gonna pray about it as I'm eating.
Hmm.
I couldn't even eat the food. And it's like a yearning going through me. If
Yeah.
anybody have a personal relationship with God, they'll know it was like a yearning. And I sat there and I said, I'm gonna call the number now. The guy said, can you come back over here? And of course, the devil started trying to seek in. You can't get this. Your credit ain't good enough to get this. And I started, well, lo and behold, the guy, he looked at my Facebook page. I had already had a big following. I had 5,000 on that page, and I had 6,000 on another page. So he went off of that, and he said it looked consistent. So that's another nugget. Stay
Yeah.
consistent,
Stay consistent.
consistent with your social media. Things that don't need to be on your social media, don't put it on your social media. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
so he looked at that. So he gave me the store based off of my consistency. So, and he said when I put the store together, he said he couldn't imagine that store would have ever looked like that. It was so beautiful. But that's how I got the store. So 2 weeks later, I was signing the lease, and that was March 10th, which March 10th is the day, and I didn't even think about it until after I had done it. But March 10th was the day that I started my business. But then time went back. March 10th was the day that I got this that I seen the store.
Wow.
So March 15th, I went over there, I signed the lease. I May the 3rd was my opening day. And so I stayed there 7 years. So
Now, how long between the time that you started your business
mhm.
till you got in a storefront?
It was 4 years. It was four
Okay,
years.
now what did you do for our people? Because I know that I have some people that follow that do have retail businesses, and some people their retail is service. Some are goods, some are service. So I
Right.
want to kind of give a timeline because I think sometimes we hear the success part of the story, but we
And forget
don't
about the
understand that
grind.
there are sometimes those bumps and so I
Right.
want to talk about that, not to bring up the negativity, but just so that
But you
people
need to know,
understand.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
When I first started, when I first started, like I said, the way everything happened for me is not because I know a lot of people who are in business. Mine was not like the average person, but
Okay.
it doesn't mean that it was any less harder,
Right.
hard.
Right.
Mine was people start calling. I don't even know how these people found me. They start calling, asking me, can I do shows for them? So I was doing like 20 something vendor shows a month. But that was hard work. I was lifting all that stuff myself.
Yeah. Yes.
Nobody helping me. I was going
Yes.
setting it up professionally myself. I would leave one vendor show and go do another one. So I was doing all vendor shows, and then I had them select customers that would come to my home, or I
Yeah.
would go and set up on a lot of somebody's business out of my car. So it wasn't always pretty, and then my body be sore, but I was lifting a lot, and but I gained all my followers through that, and then I got contract with the federal building. So our federal building, I started setting up
Wow.
for them once a month. I would set up like a store for them once a month,
Okay.
and then I started setting up at Great Bar Electric, so and Ameren UE. So I started setting it up at big places on their paydays, like it was a store.
Wow.
And then that's the thing. You get not because you ask not. I would go around asking, let me proposition this to you. I can come and sell to to your employees on their work day and make them happy. That
Yes.
makes them happy. And so it worked. I did 4 years, and I was still doing them in and out, even when I was at my store. I would still go do
Okay.
vendor shows.
So you were putting in some hard labor those
Yes,
first 4 years.
yes,
So it wasn't just I started my business, God gave me this idea, I opened my business, a few months
and
later, I'm in
boom.
the forefront. No, you actually had to kind of pay your dues, so to speak. You
Right.
had to get out there, get yourself known, get your product known, get you known,
Me
get
no.
your
Right.
name known, your
Right.
business, all of that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, because it was me. I mean, I grind. It was hard. I mean, it was hard work. I have a big truck. I would fill it up, pack it up. I even got on the road and traveled to places like Chicago and different places and did shows. So
Yes.
it wasn't all, you and people saw the beauty of it set up, but they didn't think about what it took to you know, set it all up, and it
People
was a
want the
challenge.
glory, but they don't want to do they don't want to grind.
Right,
They
right.
don't want to go through the grind, but
Yeah,
they want the glory that you have.
right.
And
People still
yeah,
today ask me, I don't mind helping people because we need to help each other get further. I don't mind showing them, but when I tell them, they ask me how did I get where I started and how did I find my product, they think I be being sarcastic, but I say through prayer and research. I mean, it's the truth. Learn how to do your research. Don't let nobody just tell you anything, because if you do your research, then and pray about it before you do your research, God will lead you where you need to be. And you don't need to say you want to do stuff because Tracy is doing it. You have to do it because it's your passion. Because you may not be in the same spot I'm in, and I may not be in the spot that you're in. You have to do it
yeah.
because it's your passion, not because you see what I'm doing.
Well, and that brings up a good point as well, Tracy, because um, many people, like I said, they want the same end result. So you have two kinds of people. You want there's people that want the end result, but they
Right,
don't want to go through the process you went through, and all they really know is where you are now. They
right,
weren't there through the you know
right. Are you, can you hear me?
they weren't traveling that road with you. Then
Right.
can you hear me?
I can hear
Okay.
you now.
Yeah. So you have
It's froze.
who weren't there, so they don't know the process that you went through. Are you having problems hearing me?
Yeah, it's freezing. It seems like you're breaking up.
Oh, I'm not breaking up on my end. I'm not sure. And I hope for those of you out there, if I am breaking up, it could be Wi-Fi. Who knows?
Right, right.
Um, but you also have the people who really want it, but they
Right.
think that they have to mimic you step by step,
Right.
you
And you need
know?
to add your own touch to it because that's what makes you unique. You know,
Yes.
that's what
Yes.
make you unique. I added a whole lot of things to mine. I'm really I do styling for people. I also do personal shopping. It and when I do personal shopping, it doesn't have to be from my store. I personal shop based on what you need and what I feel like you would look good in. So
Yes.
I do personal shopping. I do that, and I also based on my store, a lot of people learned how good I was in home decorating. So people start hiring me to come do rooms in their houses to make them look good.
Yes.
So
Decorate them.
without even trying to, for a year, people kept on asking me, "How can you do this to my house?" And I was like, "No." So I eventually started doing that.
Would
Right.
you say you got tired of saying no?
Right. And then my store always got awards for my window every year. Every month I did a different theme in my window. But then
Okay.
I thought every year people would just stop and look at my window for Christmas. I had beautiful, beautiful decorations. And so people start asking me that. So then I'll go out and I decorate people trees in their home. While I had somebody else working at the store, I would go out and decorate the trees in people's houses and put decorations up for that.
It amazes me because all this started from you buying a purse,
Yes. My husband
at a,
buying her.
your husband buying you a purse. Now, did you say you were at a flea
We
market
were
or
at
something?
a flea market, and I
At
can't
a
even
flea
tell you
market.
what that purse looked like. I don't even remember the purse. I don't know what happened to the purse. I don't know if I even took it, but I don't remember. But it all started from that.
It all started from there. And so this is what I want to say, and you can correct me because
Okay.
I don't have a retail business
Okay.
first. So but it sounds to me like one of the important parts of your business is, besides doing something that you just really have a knack for. Maybe
Right.
you don't have a passion at that time, but we have to be open for the ideas. We have to be ready to do what we can with what we have when the idea comes, because if the
Right.
idea comes for you, there's a way for you to do it.
Exactly.
And then it sounds to me also like, when you're not trying to figure it all out and monetize it and you just go with it, that you will get those ideas will come to you as you go, because you
Yes.
didn't have this big vision.
I didn't even know that I was good in the things that I was good in. I didn't even know. God already knew. That's why He led me to it. I didn't know that I was good in styling people. I know I
Yeah,
can style myself, but I didn't know I was good in styling people.
other
I didn't
people.
know I was good. People consider my home decorating beautiful. I do my own house, but I didn't think nobody thought enough that they wanted me in their house.
Right.
You know, you know, and so I didn't even know that these were things that were so good that I can get paid off of them. So and then I do a lot of within my store. I did my business rather, not my store, but my business. I did a lot of charity. I gave a lot. Um I mean, every year I did a big yellow and white party, and I chose yellow because yellow is a happy color.
Yes.
So, and I made sure I cooked the food myself because I used to have a catering business. So
Okay.
I would cook the food myself. I didn't want anybody bringing it in. I would have a live band. I would do a basket, have raffle tickets, and I would collect money, and all that money would go to a certain charity every year. I did domestic violence, I did breast cancer, and I did we had a mother here that her daughter was murdered. And she was missing for like months before they found her. And
Oh,
then when they found her, it's like the whole St. Louis just grew close to this lady. I had never met her before, but it's pictures on my page and everything. Now I collected like almost $3,000. I gave it to her I gave her and her husband a grief relief trip. So, and then
Oh,
gave her a basket. And so I just love doing things like that. I love giving.
yes.
I love
And I
to,
think that that's important too. But I need to back up for a second here, Tracy. You said you used to have a catering business. So it
yes,
sounds to me like, even though you didn't know this was going to be your direction, sounds to
right.
me like you had an entrepreneurial mindset already.
Yes.
So where did you get that? Where did that come from?
I kind of shared about my father. I didn't know him, but then I found out that he was wealthy in sales. So my son he's in sales. We never knew where we got it from. And I do the sales. My daughter was a hairstylist. My baby girl is a photographer. So we all have entrepreneur in our life. Yes,
Yes. So it's
yes,
just something that was just innate in you.
right. And I
So
didn't know at the time where it came from, but that's where it came from.
what do you have any advice for those that maybe they don't feel like they haven't tapped into that entrepreneurial spirit, but they really want to have their own. They're feeling like you felt when you were working at the storage
Right,
place. They're discontented, they're unhappy, they're not fulfilled. They're going home crying at night because
right,
they don't like their job. And by the way, especially with everything we're going through, there are days I really don't like my job. And then I always end it with, but God, I'm thankful. Because,
right.
so many people don't have a job. So how do you have any advice for those that really want to have their own business, but aren't really sure what direction to go and don't really feel like they have that innate entrepreneurial mindset?
Well, and I mean, like you say, today's time is different, but it's so many virtual things that you can get involved in. Like you all network, I say network. You may not even know why you're networking. Just hang around like-minded people. If you want to be a business person, hang around business people. If you want to be rich, hang around rich
Rich
people.
people. Mhm.
And you may, my I got this from my son. I learn a lot from my son, even
Mhm.
though I'm the mother. you
Right.
know I put sticky notes on my mirror, and I tell myself every day, I will be wealthy, I will be successful, I will. You have to, if you say it enough to yourself, it becomes so.
That's
So
right.
you have to tell yourself, and you have to hang around like-minded people, and you walk in there feeling like $1,000,000, even if you got $2 in your pocket.
That's
It,
right. That's
it
right.
eventually starts to rub off on you. It
Yes.
rubs, and that's not pretending to be something you're not. That's being somebody that you're gonna be. That's who you're gonna be. I still have to do it every now and sometimes. If you keep on saying, I don't have any money, I don't know what I want to do, well, that mindset sticks there. So you
I
have to,
love that.
yeah, you have to tell yourself, believe it, and then you'll achieve it.
Yes, yes. So
Yes.
one of the things that I have talked about in my coaching business is we are taught naturally, we're taught, we're raised to come from a to live life in a have do be mindset, meaning we tell ourselves, well, once I have what I need, then I can do what I need to do to be
Mhm.
who I want to be. And
No,
that's backwards.
that's backwards, right?
We're too busy living outside in when this is an inside out job. So you
Right,
have to start, be who it is that you want to be,
right,
do the things that it is that a person that is being that person would do. And then you're going to have the things that a person that's being that way and doing those things would have.
right. And I know I keep saying this, but
Love
it's
it.
so necessary for me. And
Yes,
I don't see
yes,
how it can't be necessary for anyone else. But
yes,
pray about it. Whatever you choose to do, you put God in front of it,
yes,
and I'm telling you, all else will follow. You have to really pray about it. Don't do it because somebody else is doing. Just say, God, I don't know my direction. Lead me.
yes,
Lead me where you want me to be. Show me the
yes.
way. He'll part everything. I didn't know everything, but I'm telling you, it was stuff coming at me. And every time it seemed like my store was starting to lose money, he'll
Yes,
send the right people through and put me back over the top. So
yes,
he'll do
yes,
it. You just have to, you just have to believe in yourself, and you can't be lazy. You just can't be lazy. If you know that it's some things you can do to better yourself, but you're
yes.
sitting there waiting on it to happen. It don't happen like that.
It
You have
doesn't
to
happen.
go out there, you have to go out there and grab it. I didn't know what I was doing when I started. Like I said, I had like 4 different licenses. I didn't need all them licenses, but I didn't know the right one.
You said God told me to do this business. I'm gonna do everything I know to do.
Right. So I went and got all them different licenses. I didn't even need all of them, but I bet you one thing, I had what I needed.
That's
So,
right. That's right.
you
In the
can't be
midst of
afraid.
all that you had what you
Right.
needed.
Right. So you can't be afraid. And another thing, once you do figure out what you want, because I learned this, see, I learned some healthy lessons. Once you do find out what you want, what you're gonna do, and God moves you to do that, that's your vision. You can't
Yeah.
go pulling people into your vision. That's your vision. And what God has for
Woo,
you is for
it's for
you.
you.
I tried to
Hmm.
pull somebody into my vision and help them because I had a nice size store, and it turned out to be a disaster. But that was my vision. And
Yeah.
I should have just trusted God and stopped thinking I couldn't do it on my own. I was what they call it, wilding, like in and out. But I learned a healthy lesson. You know,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
I got a broke hand off of it. Yeah,
What?
because I brought somebody in that I thought was good for the business, and she turned out to be a monster.
Yes.
So you just can't, you just have to believe in yourself. You don't need anybody to convince you that you believe in yourself, but just believe in yourself.
Hmm.
That's all you have to do, and trust, and just trust. Have faith of a mustard seed. You can do it.
That's it. That's it. That's
And
all it
don't be afraid to ask. There are a lot of people who won't tell you stuff because they're afraid they're afraid that your success will make them
takes.
smaller.
Them. Hmm.
Right. But see, that goes back to what God has for you is for you. You can't be afraid. I'm not afraid to help somebody. I'm
Hmm.
not. I love helping people. And
Right.
so, but for those who don't, you're not going to get far. You have to be willing to help. And it can't be all for self. God don't give us he don't test us to give testimonies to ourselves. Our
That's right.
testimony our testimony. So I mean, I know I'm going there, but it's so true. But
Yes.
our
Yes.
testimonies are for our neighbors standing to the left and right, front and back.
That's right.
We
That's
don't
right.
need to
That's right.
testify to ourselves.
We don't need that
We
testimony
don't
to
need
a for
that.
ourselves. Well, and
Right,
I often say it may start out being about you, the lesson you need to learn, but in
right,
the end, it ain't all about you.
right. He does nothing to you for you.
For
It's
you.
always for the next person.
It's so that's the thing, when people say,
Right.
why me? Well, I
Why
mean,
not?
why not?
Why not? Why
You
not?
know?
And right. So you have to know that take the good with the bad, roll
Yes.
up your sleeves when you have a bad day and get through it, and just
Okay.
keep on going. And another thing that for any of you guys that's in here that do have a business or that just started a business, it's okay to ask for help. I've learned that. I thought I can do everything myself. I can do the accounting, I can do the ringing, I can do I just thought I could do it all. And still sometimes I still got to tell myself, you can't do it all, Tracy. It's okay. The person who's gotten to the top, believe me, he didn't do it by himself. He
Yes.
had a team. It's
Yes.
okay to ask people for help and make sure you keep your taxes, if nothing else, in because that's what takes people out of business. It's not what you're doing. You're not keeping up with your taxes and not paying sales taxes the way you're supposed to. It will take that's what take you out of business.
So a good accountant on your team is important.
It's important. It is. It
And I
is
know
very
that that's
important.
a lot, I know a lot of people first starting out, they feel overwhelmed by all the parts and pieces.
Yeah,
And sometimes it feels so financially taxing. The
yeah.
key is, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because like I said, I'm not in retail, but
Mhm.
just knowing when you start a business, the thing is that you can do your taxes for so long, you can start out doing some of that stuff, but if you grow, you're not going to be able to continue
Right.
to do that because there's so many things that you don't know,
And
you
if you
know?
start getting so overwhelmed, guess what that means? That's a good thing. That means that you are growing, and that's when you go grab somebody's hand and say, "I need you." You know,
Yes.
I
And
need
not
you.
don't be afraid to
Don't
ask,
be afraid to ask. Right. There's
you
no
know?
dumb. Look, we learned this in grade school. There's no dumb questions.
That's
You
right.
know, so ask for help. Ask. Just and I didn't know how to. I didn't have an accountant, and it was getting overwhelmed even in my store when I first started. But I'm gonna tell you what I did. I had to figure it out because I thought it was too expensive for me. But it really wasn't, but I thought it was. So what I did, I went extreme. I went and opened up 3 bank accounts. I had a bank account for my store money, the my money that I can go recomp my stuff with. I had
Yes.
all my taxes that I took out every week. I took that tax and put it into a bank account by itself, nothing but taxes. That
Yes.
way, when I went to pay my sales tax, because we have to pay sales tax. So when
Yes.
people go around saying, "Can I get that without tax?" People ask you that all the time. Believe it or
Yeah.
not. No, I have to
Yes,
pay
I know.
taxes on this stuff. So I put all that in a separate account. So I had accounts for different things, and it was a lot. But that's what kept me stable until I could go get an accountant.
And you know what? The thing you brought up that sell that people asking for. Here's my take on that.
Or can
Let
I
me
get that for a
if
cheaper
I choose
price?
to bless you or it's for me to bless you, let me bless you. Don't
Exactly.
because guess what? It's just like with my coaching. I've had people say, "Oh my God, coaching is so, to hire a person, life
Yeah.
coach or dream builder coach, it's expensive." Well, guess
Right.
what? That coach has gone to school. That coach has gotten
Right.
training. If that coach is certified, they have had to spend money to get where they are as well. And
Right.
so the thing is that we spend money on the things we want to.
Right.
We will go out and then so like in your business, because I have some of your jewelry. I don't know why I didn't think to put something on that I had from you, but I've purchased bags and jewelry from you, and so I know it's good quality. And how do I look spending? I'm just hypothetically saying, how do I look buying a $80 bag and saying, "Oh, can you not charge me that 8% or whatever it is for sales
Yeah.
tax, 6% or whatever?" You're spending $80. You mean to tell me you got a problem spending another $4 or $5 on tax?
And then people
Like
will
you don't.
say, if I buy two of this, can you give me a deal? No, it's not on sale this week. I run
That's
sales.
that's not the deal. I'll give the let me manage the deals.
Right. Yeah. And I don't know why we do that to each other. I mean, in our community, it's really bad.
Yes,
Uh,
yes,
everybody wants something, but they'll go right over to Macy's. Macy's not going to let you buy with 2 cents. If you 2 cents cheap, they're not letting you have that.
you're
But
not gonna
they'll
walk
go
out the
right over
store.
there and spend all kind of money and come back over to the small business. And that's something else we have to do. We have to demand our respect. I
Yes.
demand that you're going to respect me. You're going to treat me as if I was Nordstrom's, Macy's, Neiman Market. I demand my respect.
That's right. I'm laughing at Brittany. She said, child. Oh, that's right.
Right, right. So
This
no,
has
the
been
answer is
such a
no.
blessing. We're starting to wind down. So I want to before we tell people where they can find you
Okay.
and the great special that you're going to have going on, what I'd like to ask you to briefly talk about is, you know, COVID has wreaked havoc on a lot of us in
Yeah,
different ways.
yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Um, and so what I wanted to talk about is you mentioned that you had your store until
yeah,
COVID hit. And
yeah.
so how did you go through the process of realizing that, okay, I need to close my storefront. I need to go at this from a different angle. And how did you make that decision without being discouraged?
I had already had a website already that had been built, a website, and again, that great person, God, that great spirit God. I had my lease was up in March, and so
Oh,
it's
wow.
like it's like God had been putting something on me. I don't know what it was. I kept on saying, I don't feel like I don't feel, before COVID even hit. I said, I don't think I'm gonna be safe. Something's gonna happen. And I
Yes.
don't know. It was God preparing me for the COVID, but I had kept
Okay.
saying, I feel like I'm not gonna be safe. And my house is so close. I said, I'm gonna close the store. I'm gonna close the store. And that was in March. Um, and my lease, I didn't feel like I kept going back and forth. I'm not gonna do my landlord, he was like, he said, no, what would I do? He said, you've never missed your rent. You've never, it's hard to get people like that. And I was
Yeah.
like, I said, but for safety reasons, I had already put my notice in before COVID hit. I said, for safety
Wow.
reasons, I need to go.
Yes. So
And then,
they gave you the out.
right.
So you
So
didn't burn a bridge with your landlord or anything like
no,
that, you
no,
know.
and but that was the safety, that was the alert, was COVID. I didn't know what it was, that feeling I had that I wasn't going to be safe.
Yes.
And my safety was I wasn't going to be financially safe, because I would
Okay.
have had a store, I would have had to pay rent. I would
Yes.
have been it would have been I wouldn't have been able to be there,
Yes.
And so God had already prepared me for it. And so March 31st I was gone.
And
So
then you went right into doing Facebook sales. So you didn't miss a
right.
beat.
Nope. And I had a room redone in my home. I have a 12-room home. So I had
Okay.
a room done in my house. I had it and people, if they don't come here to see it, they'd be like, why? They thought they look at it, looks like it's a store.
Yes.
Yes, so
Yes.
I just picked up from there, and I've had some slow months though, but it's not what
Yeah.
I'm used to, because
Yes.
people are hurting right now.
Yes, they are.
So
They
I'm
are.
just starting to pick back up where I can see my revenue picking back up.
Yes. And it's still a blessing because you're still going. You don't have there's some overhead you don't have now.
A
You
lot,
know.
a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that helps in that during this leaner time.
And then even in the midst of that, Donna, I I love to give. So that was hurting me more than the fact that my business wasn't doing as well. That was hurting because every year I give, and I just wasn't able to. So I went to sleep with it on my mind one night. I was like, Lord, just give me a way that I can help somebody. People out here hurting and they're hungry. God,
Yes.
God gave me the idea. Go on there and ask every person. I have over 14,000 followers. Go on
Yes.
there and ask every person that can to send $1, just
$1.
$1 to your cash app. And people that's on here, you guys can do this too, because
Yes.
you can help each other, help other people. And
Yes.
and however you choose to help somebody with it. But I ask everybody. So I end up getting like maybe I think like 320 people that donated. So I
Okay.
got that, and then I put $40 in it. I gave each I went and bought like 10, it may have been more than that. No, it was more, it was $400 total. And I went and bought 10 $40 gift cards for Aldi with that. And I
Yeah.
just stood out there and handed it out to whomever God led me to. So we can help other people even when we don't have anything.
Those small things that seem
Yes.
small to us
Yes.
are so big to other people.
Right.
They're so big to other people. And you said very importantly in the beginning, be open to following that voice.
Yes.
And you know, y'all, those who know me on here know that I am a you know, I'm a God believer. But whether you call God spirit, whether you
Or
call
whatever.
God,
Right.
you know, whatever your name
Whoever
for,
your higher power is.
that's right. Whatever
Yeah.
your name for your higher power is, be open to
Yeah.
listen and be led and go forth and do what you are led to do. Do what God leads you to do
Yeah.
because you don't know the blessing that you're going to be to them, and you don't know what blessing you are setting yourself up for.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I love that. I love that so much. Tracy, I want to tell people how they can follow you.
Okay.
And that's right, Tim. Doors open when you open doors for others. That's right.
Yes.
Amen to
Exactly.
that.
Thing.
Amen to that. So I
Yes.
want to let me get over here. I want to tell people that on Facebook you can follow Tracy at Tracy's Treasures Fashion. That's
Yeah.
on Facebook. Okay. Tracy's Treasures Fashion. It's there on your screen. And on IG, you can follow Tracy on Shop Tracy's Treasures. Okay. Shop
Yeah.
Tracy's Treasures. And also her website, shoptracystreasures.com. She has a beautiful website there that you can, and when you follow her on Facebook, let me tell you, she does Facebook sales all the time. Now,
Yeah.
I just started following you on IG because IG has not been my jam for a long time. I'm still learning. I'm still learning. I got a lot to learn about IG, but I know Tracy does Facebook sales very often, and she always has specials and things like that. So y'all go find her on Facebook, find her on IG, and I'll let you tell them about the discount that we'll have for the next 2 weeks for all my listeners.
So the discount, you will get 50% off on all jewelry. And all you have to do, 50% off on all jewelry. All you have to do is use the code.
Oh, I put the wrong code in there, honey.
You put the
Please
wrong
forgive me. Let
code.
me fix it. Let me fix it. Because I knew better than that. I was caught myself fixing it before.
It's your
Uh,
last
it
name.
is Salih 50. It is Salih 50. Let me do it. Let me get that going again. Okay, there we go.
So now it's up there. So all you have to do is put that in
And
there.
the date is 2021, y'all. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. Oh my
I'm
goodness.
clowning. I'm clowning today. I think that 50% got me like, what?
Right. So yeah, so and I'm constantly adding stuff, and I don't do a whole lot of two-piece items, so it's one-piece items usually. I don't do a lot of repeat things, so everybody won't be walking around with the same thing. So in my jewelry, I take a lot of pride into picking it out. So to get some jewelry from me for 50% off is a really, really good thing. So go on there, and I'm sure you will find something that you like.
And she has beautiful handbags for you women, for you purse women. She has some beautiful handbags, some unique handbags. I
You have
love it.
quite a few, don't you?
Yes. No, right. Don't be telling my secret, Tracy. I got a few pieces of jewelry. I got a few.
Right,
I
right.
have a few purses, but yes. So y'all, this is a big deal. Okay. So through the 27th of January, we're putting a limit on it because I don't want people to see this on YouTube a month from now and think that they're going to get this same discount.
Right.
So through the 27th of January, you will be able to get 50% off of a piece of jewelry, and it is Celie 50. Don't forget those two L's and two E's.
And it can
And
be it's all the jewelry. So it doesn't have to be one piece. It can be all. If you buy 5 necklaces, they'll all be 50% off.
what, Tracy?
Yes.
Woo!
So it's
Y'all,
all
let
the
me tell
jewelry.
y'all something. Y'all real special on this live.
Right. So
I
it's
love
all
it.
the jewelry and it's great bracelets, great, so it's a
Yes.
you know. And if you follow me
Beautiful.
on Instagram, if you can't get on the website, you don't want to get on the website, I'm very personable. All you have to do is inbox me and say, Tracy, I want that bracelet or I want that necklace. You can cash out me the money and I'll tell you how much it is and I'll ship it to you.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know who that is that said they missed everything. But hey, you can catch the replay. YouTube takes about 24 hours for the replay to be available. But on Facebook, you can catch the
Right
replay
away.
right after. So you didn't miss
Yeah.
anything. You did not miss anything. And Tim said thanks in advance for the special discount. I'm gonna have to gift someone. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right,
That's
Tim.
what
That's what
I'm
I'm
saying.
talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what
Right.
I'm talking about. So I love it, y'all. Well, I am going to. Oh, that was Leland, my good, my triple G Leland, my good girlfriend. You didn't miss it, girl. You didn't miss it. You can go ahead and on Tracy's Treasures. You can follow her on Facebook. You can follow her on IG, and you can go over to her website and you can always reach out to her. She is a very sweet and kind person.
Oh, thank
Tracy, it
you.
has truly been a pleasure having you on the live. I'm
Likewise.
getting ready to close out, tell people a couple of things. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to end now. Is there anything you'd like to say before I kind of take us out?
Just don't be a scared. Don't knock your blessings. If you feel like something is for you, go get it. Grab hold to it and reach for the sky.
And reach for the sky. Thank you so
Mhm.
much, Miss
Yeah.
Tracy. I will be talking to you in just a moment. Okay.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
All
All
right.
right.
Bye bye.
All right, all right, all right. There you have it, Miss Tracy Finney of Tracy's Treasures. Y'all, 50% discount on any and every piece of jewelry over the next 2 weeks. Do you hear how that is such a blessing? So I want to tell you, as promised, how you can be a guest on this show. You don't have to have a business, okay? So let me say that. You might have survived something or been through something that you just want to share the wisdom that you've learned. That's fine. All you have to do is email me. There's my email address, donna@donnasalee.com. Don't forget those two L's and two E's. And you will put in the subject line live segment. You're going to give me your name, tell me a little bit about yourself and what topic you would like to discuss. Okay. And I'll get back to you. I need some people on the show. Okay. The way this goes is that we go. We have to be on the show. This is our live segment. So I need you to send me your information. Let me get you scheduled to be on this wonderful weekly live segment. And if there is a particular subject you want to hear someone else's wisdom on, maybe you're going through something. Maybe you're struggling through something like tonight with our businesses. Maybe you just need to hear some encouragement or need to hear some wisdom about a subject. Email me, donna@donnasalee.com. And in the subject line, you're going to put segment idea. Okay. All right. So this was Tracy number 2 of our triple Tracy's, of our 3 Tracy's. Next week, we are going to talk to a beautiful woman named Tracy, beautiful lady named Tracy. And she is going to talk about having been married to an addict, having been married to someone who was a substance abuser. So it's going to be a very interesting show. And maybe you are suffering in silence. Maybe you know someone who is suffering in silence because they are married to or in a relationship with an abuser, with a substance abuser. That's what we're going to be talking about next week. So don't miss the show. Remember, every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Women, Wisdom, and Wine. I can't wait to see you next week. Have a beautiful week. And remember to dream big, but live even bigger. Good night.